Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to analyze To My Dear and Loving Husband by Anne Bradstreet. So I'm going to read the poem and make some annotations, and then I'll ask some questions to go along with it to help guide you as you answer your own questions and complete your own analysis. So, without further ado, here we go. If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. I prize thy love more than whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the east doth hold. My love is such that rivers cannot quench, nor aught but love from thee give recompense. Thy love is such I can no way repay. The heavens reward thee manifold, I pray. Then while we live in love, let's so persevere that when we live no more, we may live ever. Okay, so I didn't know if you knew this, but in Common Lit you can do annotations. So I hope you're making use of that feature as you are learning digitally. So we're going to start out by looking at the question that it asks us to take notes on. Take notes on the structure and themes of the piece. How does the narrator describe their relationship? Okay, so we're going to start with how does the narrator describe their relationship? If ever two were one, then surely we. So I'm going to highlight this part. I'm going to highlight it in purple because that's my favorite color. And then I'm also going to add a little note to it. So you can do that too. So when you get married, the idea is that you are two people becoming one. So two become one. She's saying that they have definitely accomplished that. I'm just going to say def because that's shorter. So I can click done, and now go up. Now I have an annotation there. So we're going to keep going. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. So I'm not going to say much about the second line. She's saying, if ever a man were loved by a wife, then surely thee. Because remember, thee is an old-fashioned way of saying you. So I guess we could annotate that real quick. We could say that, and then just remind ourselves that this means you. Thee equals you. Done. But I do want to come down here to this part right here because this is a little bit strange. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. So what do we think she might be saying by that? Side note, it's really weird analyzing a poem and asking you guys questions when you're not actually there to answer the questions. Okay, so we're going to highlight this, and then we're going to think about it for a second. So if ever a wife was happy in a man, so meaning if ever a wife was satisfied with her husband, happy with her husband, she says, compare with me, ye women, if you can. It's almost like competitive, like compare with me if you think you can, if you think your husband is better than mine, or you're more satisfied with your husband than I am with mine. So it's like she's saying she's more satisfied than anybody else. She's more satisfied with her husband than anybody else is with theirs. Oops. I prize thy love more than whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the east doth hold. So this is kind of how she's just more of her description of their relationship. She's saying whole mines of gold, all the riches that the east doth hold. Oops, I didn't highlight that one in the right color. There we go, that's better. So these are all her love for her husband, or the love of her husband is more dear to her than all kinds of riches. So I'm just going to add a little text right here to that part. Her husband's love is more valuable valuable to her than all the riches in the world. So if you're curious why it talks about east, you can click this little footnote and it's going to tell you the Eastern world. That means like Asia and areas over on that side of the globe, which refers to a wide variety of cultures, socio-political systems, economies, and so on belonging to countries east of Europe. So mostly Asia. It's not exact because certain places like Australia are considered more part of the Western world, but in Anne Bradstreet's time, the East was considered a source of riches as well as things that were exotic. That's what exoticism means. So, okay, we're going to keep going. My love is such that rivers cannot quench, nor aught but love from thee give recompense. Okay, so we got to figure out what the word recompense means, first of all. So here's a little footnote. Recompense means to compensate or make amends. So that's what you do when you go to the store and you purchase something. You're kind of like making recompense for what you take off the shelves. You're making recompense by giving the store manager some money. So she's saying, my love is such that rivers cannot quench. Quench means, actually you've probably heard the word quench in like soft drink commercials. Like Sprite will quench your thirst. So quench means to get rid of something or put it out. If you quench a fire, that means you've put out the fire. So she's saying, my love is such, so big that rivers, even giant rivers, cannot quench it, cannot put it out. Nor aught but love from thee. So aught but means nothing but. Love from thee, give recompense. So nothing can compensate or compare with my love but yours. Thy love is such I can no way repay. So she's saying we can't even repay each other our love because we love each other so much. So we'll add a note to that right here in this one. So that'll be lines, what is it? 5, 6, 7, 8. So line 8 through 9. Their love for each other is so great, nothing can pay it back except continuing to love each other. Continuing to... Guys, I promise I can spell. Continuing to love each other. Okay. The heavens reward thee manifold, I pray. Then while we live in love, let's so persevere that when we live no more, we may live ever. So this is actually the word persevere, meaning like to keep on or to keep going. But she spelled it in a certain way to kind of make it rhyme more with ever. I don't have much to say about this. The heavens reward thee manifold, I pray. Manifold means like many times. So heaven reward you, because remember thee means you, many times, I pray. She says, while we live, let's continue in love so that even when we live no more, even when we die, we may still have some kind of life in the love that we had for each other. So that's how the narrator describes their relationship. She describes it by saying that we are more united than anybody else has ever been. I am happier in you than anybody else is ever in their husband. I value you more than all the riches of the East. My love is so great that nothing can put it out. And so on. So we're going to take notes now on the structure. So the rhyme scheme. Rhyme scheme is the pattern of rhymes at the end of a line. So we're going to highlight now in a different color. So actually I'm going to highlight we in yellow and thee in yellow because they rhyme. Man. We're going to do a different color. We'll do green for man and can. Gold. Oh, I should have done yellow here. Oh, well, it's okay. We'll do blue. And hold. Quench. And recompense. repay, and pray. I'm not going to do the last one, you guys get the idea. So one of the questions on this assignment asks you to analyze how the rhyme scheme contributes to the tone of the poem. So tone refers to the emotion coming across in the poem. So think about it like a song. If you have a pop song or any kind of music that you listen to, it usually rhymes. So in what way does the rhyme affect the feeling of the poem? Can you have a sort of somber, depressing rhyme, or can you have a consistent like snap, 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 snap rhyme that is kind of a more cheerful or happy tone? So let's try reading this one. We'll emphasize a couple of the end rhymes here. If ever two were one, then surely we. If ever man were loved by wife, then thee. If ever wife was happy in a man, compare with me, ye women, if you can. I prize thy love more than whole mines of gold, or all the riches that the East doth hold. So, excuse me, when you're answering your questions, think about the idea that a rhyme can kind of help convey emotion. Does this sound like a cheerful beat or a sad, somber beat? What kind of emotion is contained in this we, thee, man, can, gold, hold, quench, recompense? Is it a consistent, easy to follow rhythm that kind of evokes ideas of joy or happiness, or is it a difficult to follow kind of heavy rhythm that's not quite so happy? Use those kind of ideas to help guide you as you answer the constructed response question at the end of this assignment. All right, that's all I got. I hope this helps, and I will talk to you guys again later.